Welcome to Next Level Leadership Media. I am Davetta Collins and I am the host of this show. And this show is actually produced by Dunamis Woman Media and Publishing, where I am the founder and the CEO. And so I'm so elated to be right here with you because you're going to see a show that's all about leadership. This show is designed that you may get your leadership fix. Everything rise and fall on leadership. Look at our society today. What's happening? Leadership is needed. And it starts with you. Okay? So what you're going to see is some real talk. Real talk about leadership. But not only that, we want to give you some insight. We want to give you some nuggets. We want to give you some strategies. We want to stimulate you because you are a next level leader. You were designed and created to make a difference in your life, in your home, in your business, in your community. Just make a difference. So I'm honored. You're going to see Davetta, which is me, and you're going to see David. We are two empathic leaders that wants and will spread the message about leadership development. Certified speakers, certified coaches, leadership trainers and developers. We both are part of the John Maxwell team where we have become certified. It doesn't cause us to put our validity in that, but it does enhances us because we're steadily improving ourselves. And as we improve ourselves, we want to provide you with things that you can improve as well. So stay tuned. We're going to be talking about some aspects about the laws of leadership that was directly given from our leader, John Maxwell. All right? So without further ado, here's David and Davetta. Two leaders that are on the move that you may get your leadership fixed. I'll be right back. I am so excited to be right here with you, Next Level Leadership Media. I am Davetta Collins, speaker and coach and executive director of this show, and I am here with David Anderson of David Anderson Certified
Coach.
Certified
and
speaker. How are you today?
I'm good.
Good. Oh, I am so excited about this platform. I'm excited about this show because we are talking about leadership.
Always leadership.
Always leadership. That's my breath. That's my life. That's your breath. That's your life. That's what we do. Train, develop leaders, coach, speaking, and all that stuff because it's all about going to the next level.
Absolutely. And we know that everything rises and falls on leadership.
Everything rises and falls on leadership.
And what is leadership?
Everything rises and falls on leadership. But I have a question. Where have the leaders gone?
Where have they gone? You know, Lee Iacocca, you remember him, right? When he brought Chrysler back from he was the Phoenix with Chrysler and brought him back to profitability and to thriving business. Okay, so Lee's about, I'm not sure, 90 something now maybe. When he was 82, he was really disgusted with the leadership in the world, and he just really let everybody know through a book called "Where Have All the Leaders Gone?" that he was disgusted, he was downtrodden, he was let down by leadership. And I think a lot of people really related to that. I know I did. So you ask, what happened? Where have they all gone? And the fact is that there's always been a short supply of leaders.
Yes.
Always.
Yes.
There's never been enough of them stepping up and saying, hey, here I am. I'm the leader. Let me take you to the next level and the next level and the next level. And especially in certain areas of our lives, Lee Iacocca, of course, was talking primarily about politics. And of course, I don't want to go there.
I don't want to go there. Yeah, yeah.
And then he talked about other things where we don't want to go, like religion. But the fact is that in general, leadership has gone down significantly since the early 1970s.
Because it has become about the people of what they're getting. And that's not what leadership is about.
Exactly.
Leadership is about others.
Yeah.
You know, leadership is about futuristic. Leadership is about seeing what is needed in our world, in our society, in our community, and making a difference. And I'm going to tell you, that's going to cost you something.
Absolutely.
That costs you something. And that's where we're missing the mark.
Well, absolutely. I think one of the areas where we miss the mark is that we fail to recognize a legacy for ourselves as leaders. We talk a lot about the laws of leadership, and one of those is the law of legacy.
John Maxwell, 21 irrefutable laws of leadership.
Happens to be the last law of those 21.
Yes.
And it's there for a purpose, because we neglect to do that as leaders. Even really good leaders don't think about their legacy. And I'm not sure why. I wonder if it's maybe the stigma that legacy has an attachment with death.
Yes.
Like our legacy doesn't matter until after we're gone.
But that's also something that we stopped talking about, because realistically, everyone was born to die. I facilitate leadership classes, training, development, and even in this book, I always start off with legacy. It's the last chapter, but even in my class, I had them read that first. I noticed you did that in your mastermind group.
Yes, I did.
Okay, before I go into mine, tell me why you did that.
Well, because here, and when I look at legacy to me is like, it's like the ultimate, the very ultimate vision. It's not about money. It's not about things. It's not about dying with the most toys. It's about people.
It's about people.
It's about how I can help you and other people become better leaders and better people, and what those people mean when I step away. I don't have to die.
No.
But can they function? Can they go forward without me? That's the question.
And you really should, a leader is always not only just looking for his or her successor, but preparing them. If I always tell my team, if something happened to me at a blink of an eye, you take this business to the next level.
Right.
That's my focus. It's not what we do from a day-to-day, from tangible aspects. We do have to do those things to get things operating, but it's me being able to train them, show them, develop them from inside out, you know what I mean? That they know how to think, they know how to take it, and they know how to see what's needed in our world and our society from a futuristic perspective.
Exactly.
That's the beautiful part about our work.
Right. Exactly.
That's the thing that gets me up every morning. And likewise with
I'm
yourself.
there with you.
Right. Likewise
Absolutely.
with yourself.
So the reason I put the legacy first is because if you determine the highest vision that you have, that how I like to talk about BHAGs, big, hairy, audacious goals.
Yeah.
That's the biggest, hairiest, audacious goal. That legacy.
Yeah.
And so if I can determine what that is, and then work backwards.
Yes. Yeah.
Then I can determine what goals I have to reach all along the way
Okay.
in order to get to that legacy.
Okay. Let's take a shift real quick, because I mean, oftentimes we're talking about things, and I'm a how-to person. And in order to get outcomes, I have to look at the variables and the contributing factors, that sometimes we ignore, and those are our biggest barriers. What do you think in our society now, where we have become so driven on material gain? It's all about what we get, the tangible, the look, the imagery. You know what I mean? How do you think that has formulated our society, and what do we have to do to continue to break that barrier down, that we can become next level leaders?
I think that the metric that we use to measure ourselves, dollars and cents, has kind of perverted our process of leadership. And it has driven people to be very fearful. I mean, most people live a life of complete fear.
Yeah, yes they do.
They're afraid of everything. They may not recognize it on the face, but down deep in their souls, they're afraid. They're afraid they're going to run out of money. They're afraid they're not going to have enough money. They're afraid they're not going to be able to feed their kids, and so forth and so on. It's fear after fear after fear after fear. And so people just keep driving and driving and driving, just to cover those fears.
Yes.
Have you ever walked down the street in Chicago and looked at people? They're all, nobody's smiling.
No.
Or the one I always have fun with
Yes.
drives my wife nuts, but the one I always have fun with is when you go to the airport. These people they're all glum and they're not happy. Nothing smiles. And my wife always gives me a hard time that this part of my face always turns up. That I always have a half smile. So what I do when I go to the airport is I say hello to everybody and smile at them.
And it's interesting. Sometimes I just love to sit there and just watch, because people are interesting. But that's what leadership is about. Leadership is about people.
It's all about people.
We have to, we talk about where have the leaders gone. And we talk about the law of legacy. In that, we also have to think futuristic. And when you think futuristic, you can't do nothing but think about people, particularly our younger generations, okay? But even that, they're so consumed with material gain, and losing the value of people. Leadership, as we stated, is not about ourselves, but it's about others.
Right.
However, I cannot lead others if I can't lead myself.
Right.
And I have to conquer my fears.
Yes.
I have to face my fears. You're a speaker, I'm a speaker, you're a coach, I'm a coach. We have partnered, Davetta. See, that was destined. But when we do that, we see the fears in the people's faces when we speak.
Yes.
And now to come and step forward with the coaching, they're scared to death.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to face me. They don't have to face you. You know what they have to face?
Face themselves.
They have to face themselves.
Right.
Talk about that for a minute. Because from a coaching perspective, you know, I do this dare to dig deeper. You got to go deeper and deeper, and that's really deeper into your fears. And, you know, we're going to be hosting leadership retreats that we're just going to be digging with fears. But from your experiences, talk about that. Why people have a difficult time with that.
People have such a long list of things to fear, and many of them are fears that they've made up themselves. They've told themselves stories.
In their mind.
You know, the things that I see a lot of are, you know, fear of the unknown, what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, fear of failure, fear of success.
Fear of success, yes. Yeah.
I mean, we all have that a little bit. I mean, come on, let's think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, even you and I go, wow, can we make this happen?
Yeah.
And we think about it, we put that in a different perspective, and we go, oh yeah, we can do this.
And it's gonna, and I do have those, but I keep going.
Yeah,
and I keep moving,
pushing
and I keep
forward.
moving.
Yep.
But I do realize it requires me to change.
Yeah.
And so things about me have to change. I can't do and think how I used to, but I don't know what it's going to come out to be. And I think we as a people in our society today, we want to hold on that control.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or how much do we worry?
Yeah.
Worry. How many times do you think about people standing at their window, looking out the window at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, thinking about all the things that they're worried about? And what happens to them? They worry and they tell themselves stories, and then they worry about the stories, and then they tell themselves more stories, and they worry about those stories, and they tell more stories based on those stories, and more worries, and all of a sudden they have themselves tied up in such a huge knot they can't even function.
And what's so sad about it, before we take a break, and I'm going to say this, they actually believe it.
They do believe
The
it.
stories that are in their mind, it becomes their reality. It goes back to your perception becomes your reality,
Absolutely.
but really it's a false evidence
It is.
appearing to be real.
Yes, it's true.
Which is the fear. We'll be right back. I am Davetta Collins, right here at Next Level Leadership Media. Stay tuned. David and I will be right back.
Next Level Leadership. What does that mean? Leadership fixes. We are a unique organization with a unique approach to training leaders, developing leaders, your leaders, within your organization, within your churches, your ministry, your nonprofits. We cover the entire gamut of leadership development through mastermind groups, through seminars, through workshops, through legacy leadership summits. And it doesn't stop there. We have a media division which brands not only your company, but your leadership message. You have a story as a leader to tell and to be heard. And with our company, we allow your voice to be heard through social media, through digital media, through print, as well as television. Leadership Fixed. Next Level Leadership, Next Level Leadership Media. Call 1-855-430-LEAD, LEAD. Hope to hear from you soon.
Well, there you have it. We are right back here, Next Level Leadership, David and Davetta. I am the host of this show, and I'm so excited because it's time for you to go to the next level. We have so many things, David, that we have coming up just for personal growth, mastermind groups. You know, personal growth has to be intentional.
Absolutely.
For leaders.
Yep.
Intentional.
Yep.
Tell me why, just a little bit.
And just like with legacy, anything in your life that you want to be meaningful isn't going to happen by chance.
No.
Your legacy's not going to happen by chance.
No, it's not.
You're going to have a legacy whether you want to or not.
Right. But it
But if
depends
you
on
want
what
it
that
to be the
legacy
right
is.
legacy,
That's right.
you have to have some intent behind it.
That's right.
You have to be intentional about it. You have to not only choose the legacy, but you have to live the legacy.
Even as in the book Law of Legacy by John Maxwell, the first question that was asked in that chapter is, what are they going to say at your funeral?
Right.
You know, and that's, see, when I look at mastermind groups for personal growth, it gives me a place to develop myself, that as I'm building this legacy, what I want them to say, it will be said.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm working on me.
Exactly.
And I have to work on me. Particularly we as women. You know, and even for us, we do women leadership conferences and things like that, but we as women particularly, we need to work on ourselves, because we're givers.
Yeah.
And before you know, we lose ourselves. You know.
Exactly. Now, men are the same way.
All right.
Yeah, we just don't admit it.
What you working on?
I'm always working on something. I'm always working on something. But the mastermind group's a good place to start.
It is.
It's a great
It
place
really is. It
to
really
learn
is.
a little bit of foundational leadership, to give yourself some space to grow, and really make a platform to set your sights forward.
Correct.
And it takes a lot more work than that. That's just the beginning. But to be a truly good, strong leader, that's where you start.
That's where you start. And before we get back into what we were discussing, one thing that I am excited about that's up and coming real soon is our leadership seminar. You know, that we're really going to be talking about leadership and even going back into those spheres. You know, we're going to touch on those things, you know, at the seminar that's upcoming, leadership businesses and people, particularly professionals in the marketplace, you know, really developing themselves, you know, as a leader. You know,
Everybody, really.
Everybody.
I mean, you can lead at home. Moms can lead at home. Dads can lead at home. They should lead at home.
Leadership
That's where
starts
they should
where?
start.
It starts
Right here.
It starts with me. And before I go out here into my business, my office, or wherever, it's in my home.
That's right. And
It's about-
who's the most difficult person to lead?
It's yourself.
Me. I'm always the one getting in the way.
Almost definitely.
I'm the one that asks all the questions. I'm the one that is the most critical of myself. I'm the one that has to be reminded occasionally that, hey, you know what? That's not who you really are.
That's not really who you are. And who could be your biggest enemy?
Well,
You,
yourself.
you can yourself.
Always.
Yeah, because that little stubborn person inside of you do not want to conquer the fear that is holding you hostage from developing and being all that you can be.
That's right.
You know. So let's go a little bit more into the fear.
Okay.
Okay. Legacy
Yeah.
for myself.
Okay.
Okay. Building a legacy, particularly for what am I going to leave behind? Nah, I don't want to just leave behind all this money and cars and all these things for, you know, my children not to know what to do with anyway. You know what I mean? You know, that can dissipate. The name, you know, the cause, the mark that I will leave on other people's lives, that the vision will continue. Does that
Right,
make sense?
right.
You know, I can say this television show right here. I just don't have to do this, but it's started, and it's going to be a legacy. You know,
Exactly.
something that was initiated by David Collins,
Mhm.
you know, to talk about leadership, David joining, but seeing even my daughter, other younger people come on here as they're developing, people in the mastermind group, people who come to the seminars, giving them that platform for their voice to be heard,
Right.
you know, what they're saying to be stated, that people may connect with them.
Right. And it's not about us.
No, it's not.
It's not about our
No.
ego.
No.
It really isn't.
No.
People will sometimes say that it is, but it really isn't.
Mhm.
It's about making a place better for those who
For
follow
those
us.
who follow us.
For those who succeed us. And that's really what leadership is all about, is the succession. Who's coming next? What
Who's
have I
coming
done
next?
for them? Really, there's 4 things. First of all, know and understand what your legacy is. Now, it may change.
Yes, yeah.
Your legacy today is probably different than it was
Almost
last
definitely.
week when you were in your 20s.
And it's steadily evolving.
Yeah, no, it's always evolving.
It's always.
And then the second thing is to live that legacy.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
the hard
that's
part.
the hard part.
And
That's the
the
hard
third thing is find someone or some people
Mhm.
to carry on the legacy.
Mhm, mhm.
Those people who believe like you believe, who function like you function, people who are really you
Yeah,
in another
yeah,
body,
yeah.
and probably a younger body.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the fourth thing is to actually pass the baton.
Yes, yes.
You know, it's
yes.
really interesting in a relay race. It's not how fast the runners are. It's the most important part of the race is what they call the exchange zone. And when you're handing off the baton, that's where you can't fumble there. You actually have to hand off the baton.
But even while you're running, you know, there's something that we lose sight of and that's called endurance.
Mhm.
You know, you have to keep going. You have to keep going. No one's just not going to come here and say, here's the baton. You know, you got to run, and that person has to be waiting for it. You know what I mean? But the person who's carrying it have to endure. The person who's going to catch it has to also have a level of endurance
That's right.
to continue to pass it. Many of us have lost our sense of endurance. Quick fix.
Yeah.
Want it now.
Yeah.
Instantaneous. Legacy is not an overnight process.
Nor is leadership.
No, it's leadership. It's not an overnight
It
process.
takes your whole life.
And the question is, and this is what many people have a difficult time with, the price they have to pay.
Okay?
What is it going to cost you?
Could cost you a lot.
Could cost you sometime everything in order to gain it, depending on how
It's
big your
possible.
vision is.
It's possible. It could cost you lots of money. It could cost you career. It could cost you
It
relationships.
could cost you relationships.
It could, just about anything that's in your life, it could cost you that. But another one of the laws that John Maxwell talks about is the law of sacrifice. And a leader, basically it's a leader, in order for a leader to go up, he has to give up.
You have to give up.
To go up, you have to give up.
You have to give up.
So there's something that you have to let go of
Mhm.
to take the next hand, to move up to the next level.
I remember, you know, John Maxwell also talked about the law of process, you know, and I love that. But even recalling some of my processes, and you have a forever process because you have to grow from one level to the next level, to the next level. It's just not, a quick fix. But I remember the fear. It has cost me a lot of my material possessions, you know, trying to hold on to the house, trying to hold on. And as a part of that process, I couldn't pay the mortgage. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't do
Been there, done that.
You know, and I remember the first time I couldn't pay because I was the person, you know, my stuff is paid on time.
Yeah.
I don't play with bills,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Bill and Devetta had a good relationship, you know. But the first time I couldn't pay it, I was like, I didn't realize how much fear, and it produced anxiety that I was harboring in the depths of my soul, my emotions, my mind, and I had to conquer that. I had to go through my process, and I don't care how much I cried, worried, and all this stuff, things just didn't happen the way that I wanted to. Leadership, that developmental process, it was difficult, but it was necessary.
It's a long process.
It
It's
was
a lifelong
necessary.
process, absolutely.
I can't even describe the peace that I have.
Yeah. Yeah.
That-
It's awesome.
It's awesome. It surpasses all of that.
And the law of the process is one of my favorites. Of course, I would say that they're all my favorites.
Yeah.
But I always talk about when the law of process, how you become a leader is you can be a microwave leader or you can be a crock pot leader. And how it works out is, you know, people will go to a one-day leadership seminar and they'll walk away going, I'm a leader. I am a leader. And that's all they do. They think they're a leader for the rest of their life. That's a microwave leader.
That's a microwave.
You pop them in there for 30 seconds and they pop out a leader. Done.
And you
Here
know,
I am.
You know what happens to that? It's not long lasting. It's
That's right.
it's gonna lose something in the process of that.
That's right. But what happens with a crock pot leader? Yeah, you put that nice piece of meat down in that crock pot
Let it
real early in the morning.
You could even go to work.
3, 4 o'clock in the morning, you pour sprinkle some spices in there, you turn it on,
Yeah.
and it sits there and it cooks and it cooks and it cooks. And maybe at lunchtime you come home from work and you put some more spices in there and you turn it over and you maybe add some vegetables and you put the lid back on and you let it cook and cook and it cooks all day.
All
The only
day.
difference between a crock pot roast and a crock pot leader is the crock pot leader, he cooks his whole life.
Yes.
You just keep adding spices in there,
Yes.
adding new things in.
And it's tender.
Yeah.
It's better and better and
Absolutely.
better.
It's the
Microwave is tough.
Yeah,
You know, you never get that tenderness, nor will you ever have the flavor and the seasoning.
that's exactly right.
And that's a beautiful part
That's right.
about leadership.
Best part.
So what's your next level, David? Where do you see yourself at the next level?
My next level. I want to be a world-class helper of people.
Mhm.
I want to help people be better.
Yes.
I want to help leaders be better. I want to help people become leaders, and then help them become better than they are.
They are.
Yeah,
They are.
that's my legacy in a nutshell. That's what I want to be. I want to add value to people.
Add value. Add value. I live by building lives, not building buildings.
That's right.
You know, building lives, to see people grow. You know, I just get a high when I just see them face it and conquer it, and I assist them through that process. You know, as I'm coaching, and then their eyes enlightened to truth about themselves. They think things about themselves they never thought about. But then things around them externally begin to change.
That's right.
Things that they never really thought of or worked for.
Right.
It just things happen.
Exactly.
And to go through that process with them, that's better than the check is
There's
needed, but that's
nothing
better
more
than
rewarding.
nothing more rewarding.
No.
Nothing more rewarding.
No.
And that's why we have this show right here. Next Level Leadership Media, because who we're talking about is you. It's time for you to go to the next level. We have so many things that David and I are here for. Mastermind groups, business leadership retreats, conferences. Oh, those retreats about facing your fears. Oh yeah, it's not going to be a whole lot of people, so you need to get there, because guess what? You have a legacy to leave, and it's in you. The legacy is in you. That's why you were born. That's why you were created. And whatever profession you're in, it's going to be all about what you leave here for others. I am Daybetta Collins. Give us a call, 1-855-430-LEAD, 1-855-430-LEAD. We'll see you again, particularly at the next level. Have a great day.
Hi, I'm Arielle Fuller, the editor-in-chief of the Commercial Voice Real Estate Magazine, where we are the voice of the commercial real estate professionals in the commercial real estate industry. But we bring out the voice in leaders. We bring out the voice of CEOs and their staff to really develop them, because we want to brand people. We also want to brand your business, but you brand your business. And that's why we want you to share your voice and step up your leadership. So I want you to take advantage of our publication, take advantage of our opportunities where you could even be on the show, branding who you are and your business and why people want to do business with you. Because people only do business with who you are, not what you do. There's a lot of people in your industry and you have to stand out. So take advantage of our Next Level Leadership Media opportunities. You can contact us at 1-855-430-LEAD. That's 1-855-430-LEAD. And you can visit us at www.thecommercialv.com. That's www.thecommercialv.com. And take a look at our magazine, because we want to see you within, but we want to see you right here. Branding your business, branding your staff, branding your company, because you are the leader.